All right, Gary.
Yes.
Gary, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Orange. Well, actually, I was born in New York. I lived in. My dad was in the Air Force and the Army. We moved a lot. I lived in Hawaii until I was on my sixth birthday. I was on a plane to Orange County, and I lived in Orange County until I was 25. I moved up here.
To LA.
Yeah.
And tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
Yeah. I had a mom and dad, obviously, and a brother and sister. My parents divorced when I was 5. Some inappropriate stuff happening between my sister and my dad, unfortunately. And so my mom divorced my dad, and we moved to, my dad kind of bailed out on my mom, and so we ended up moving to Orange County with my mom. And when I was about 6 years old, she started dropping the ball, so to speak. And she was an alcoholic, and we ended up in foster homes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, on my sixth birthday, they caught me at a liquor store. And my brother and sister are older than me. They had me in my mom's coat stealing at a store, and we didn't have any supervision, so they took us away, put us in foster homes, and that was kind of the beginning of that cycle.
How would you describe your experience with the foster system?
Well, I was in a lot of foster homes. Yeah, some temporary ones, some good ones, some bad ones, some abusive ones. You know, like for example, I wet my bed a lot when I was young, and I had a foster parents that would abuse me basically when I would wet my bed. And when my social worker got a hold of that, she took me out of there and put me in a home where they rewarded me when I didn't wet my bed. So it was kind of like, yeah, some good experiences, good homes and bad homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember actually a foster home that I was in where they had a real daughter, and she was like a real brat. And I used to like do things to try to get her to entertain her, to keep her from running to her parents and like getting me in trouble. And I actually broke this finger actually doing somersaults, trying to keep her quiet basically. Yeah. And when I went and showed them the finger, she told me, "Oh, go run it under cold water." And this is the result.
Oh.
Yeah, and when I showed that to my social worker, she took me out of there that day.
So the turmoil,
they were abusive,
but the unsettled,
without a doubt,
life you had as a kid must have paid.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
it really was.
And where did your life go after that?
Well,
did
like
you get
I
out
said,
at 18?
Huh?
When, did that end at 18?
Well, basically, by the time I was 13, I was pretty much back in my mom's custody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I was running the streets basically with my older brother, and started doing crystal when I was 13. Actually, shot up crystal for the first time when I was 13, and I had a sugar daddy for the first time when I was 13 as well. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very mature. I grew up very, very fast.
Wow.
But at that point, I got on probation, so I would end up in group homes as opposed to foster homes when my mom would drop the ball. So that cycle continued till I was 18.
Where do you think you learned that sex was a commodity that you could sell?
Pretty young. Like I said, at 12 or 13,
where did you learn it?
Well, I was hitchhiking around Orange County, and guys would pick me up, and that's when I met this jeweler guy. He owned a jewelry store in Anaheim, and he wrote his number on a $50 bill. And he used to take me to Palm Springs and like take me around to all his friends and be like, "Guess how old Gary is," you know? And they'd be like, "Oh, 8," because I looked older. They'd be like 18, 19. He'd be like 13. They'd be like, you know, they were really, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I pretty much continued doing that. I would pick it up and put it down a lot, the prostitution part, but until I was basically 40. You know, I did it on different levels, but I would get involved with guys, and you know, we would take care of each other's needs as opposed to me like being out there all the time. That was kind of my forte. So.
Yeah. And so today you're living where?
Right now I live up the street at the Lincoln Hotel, which is a Skid Row housing trust.
Right.
I've been there for a while, but I got a lot of problems there. In fact, somebody just lit my apartment on fire like 2 nights ago. They're trying to get me out of the building.
Why is that?
I'm not sure exactly. They want my apartment. I had some problems with this company like some years back, but it's really a long story. It's complicated. And
so even getting housing on Skid Row is
it is. It's
full of drama.
It's a valuable thing, and I'm trying to hold on to it, and I've done pretty good. 14 years is nothing to shake a stick at.
Oh, you've been there 14 years?
Yeah.
And now they're doing these kind of things?
And yeah, 2 nights ago they lit my apartment on fire. Yeah.
And your crystal meth use has continued?
Is what?
You're still using?
Yeah,
crystal meth?
I use it. I smoke it. I don't shoot. I used to shoot, but I don't anymore.
And what does crystal meth do for you?
It basically gets me out of bed. I mean, it's just a daily thing for me now. It makes me like sexual too. It's a sexual thing.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I don't hear from women, but I hear from guys.
Really? Yeah, it gives me energy.
I'm sure it does for both. But.
It doesn't do anything. I don't get real paranoid or anything like that. Sometimes I get a little like speedy, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the quality is not what it used to be, right?
No, it's not the same as it used to be. Years ago, you could stay up for 5-6 days. I sleep every night, but yeah, it's not like it was. But.
Are you worried that you're putting things in your body that are just garbage?
Yeah, I care a lot about myself and about my health. I really actually do. But at the same time,
It's so unregulated.
At the same time, I've been positive for a long, long time. And I saw back in the day when I got my diagnosis, we didn't think we'd be around this long. So I started making peace with all that a long time ago.
Oh, so you're HIV positive?
I've been positive since '91.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you seem very healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty healthy.
So
I am pretty healthy.
There's medications that you take and things like that.
Yeah, I take 2. I take the newest one, whatever it's called, and they do another one on top of it. That one's a daily pill.
Yeah. Are there any side effects or any?
I don't really experience any. I haven't really experienced any. No.
No problem. Wow.
Fortunately, not. For me, it's just taking them is the biggest component, because I have a tendency not to, because I feel healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
So there's a gay bathhouse that's right down the corner.
I live right across, like a stone's throw from that bathhouse, right across the street.
Do you ever go there?
I used to go there. I haven't been there for years.
What kind of stuff happens there?
It's fun stuff. It's like you go in there and you really don't. You just get stuck. But it's a lot of just sucking and fucking. It's
And a lot of crystal meth use.
yeah,
probably.
everybody's using it in there. They used to be pretty more lax about it, but now they're starting to get more. They check your bags and shit. But
I mean, if you're going to stay there all night, I would
Yeah.
think you would need something like that too.
huh?
If you're going to
Yeah.
stay there all
yeah.
night.
And most people that go there are on, but
Is it a popular drug in the gay community?
Oh yeah.
I think I've
Yeah,
heard it
it's,
is.
It's like the staple. You know what I mean? It really is. Yeah. I think more people do it than don't. I would say.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the smart ones, come out the other side and.
Yeah. And did you have dreams of doing something with your life? I mean, rather than ending up here on Skid Row?
I did.
You've had jobs?
Huh?
You've had jobs?
Oh, many different kinds of jobs. I've done, yeah. I'm actually, the last thing I got certified as a medical transcriptionist, but it was right around the time when voice rec software came out. And unfortunately, I didn't do the forecasting, and neither did my rehab counselor. And so I got certified right at the time that the industry crashed. So I never actually got any work doing that. But I have administrative skills. I was a bartender, did construction work, all kinds of work. I was a driver, first call driver for the coroner, lots of different jobs.
How old are you now?
I'm 54. I just turned 54 last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, would you prefer to be living a different life where you're not down here and perhaps are working, or are you content?
I don't know, it's a good question, but
Some people are content here.
I am content. I'm fortunate, like I said, that I have a place. I don't have a lot of real solid drive toward any particular thing. That's kind of, I feel like I'm kind of doing what I'm supposed to be doing in a way, because I'm one of the few people in my building that's has the characteristics that I do. Yeah, and I think that I'm trying to be an example, and a lot of people aren't picking it up, and it's kind of frustrating. It's yeah.
Do you have friends?
I have a few, a few.
That's it.
But my friends don't really necessarily like my decisions, so you know, I kind of like, you know, lead your life and I'll lead mine, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I care about you, but you know.
What would you say is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, probably ever starting drugs, I think, because I don't know. That's a tough one though, because it's not realistic, I don't think.
Well, I mean,
The
given your
biggest regret,
given your childhood though, that kind of
my
steered you.
biggest regret probably is just not believing in myself the whole way through. You know what I mean? Not knowing knowing my potential, and you know.
Not believing in yourself.
And yeah, exactly. Because if I didn't know then what I know now, you know what I mean? If I didn't know I was going to be here this long, I would have planned better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Most important lesson would be, I think, you know, I've kind of always known everything in my heart that I needed to know. I feel like the lesson, just to value people more, I would say, you know, and not to take my anger out on people, probably because I have a tendency to lash out. Yeah, I still do. Yeah, because I get frustrated when I don't get what I want from people. I start lashing out, you know.
All right. Well, Gary, thank you so much for talking with me.
No problem,
I
man.
wish you the best of luck out
All
there.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.